Hi everyone, I'm Terry Schultz and I'm Legally Crafty, an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Aledo, Texas. And today I am making a card for Kylie's demonstrator training group blog hop. And I made a video last month, but I didn't make it on the blog hop because I scheduled it to post on the wrong day. So that was unfortunate. But it's there if you want to find it and see it. It's on my blog. But today I'm making my card for the December blog hop, and this is the card. Isn't it beautiful? This is a really fun card to make. It's probably more geared toward the avid crafter, but I think you could do some things if you're a casual crafter or even a beginner crafter to make this one doable as well if you don't have all of the supplies. But this is a really fun, pretty card, and I'd been wanting to play with these dies, and I was wanting to try to make a poinsettia, so I was just trying some different things on this card, and I think it came out pretty cute. So I'm using, let me just set this right here where we can see it. It might get on our way. I'm using the seasonal wreath stamp set, which is in the holiday catalog, and I'm using this stamp because I wanted some snowflakes. I think they're so cute. And then for the sentiment, I'm using the Itty Bitty Christmas stamp set, and I am using the Peace and Happiness stamp set, or sentiment, which is right here. And this stamp set just has a lot of really fun Christmas sentiments in it, and it coordinates with these dies. And I'm using the snowflake dies and these two snowflake dies on this card, and these are really fun, and we'll be able to use these into the spring. So this set is also in the holiday catalog, but I would encourage you to get it if you don't have it, because these dies will be useful even in the spring. So it's a really versatile stamp set. And then I'm also just using, you'll see a little, two little sprigs from this Cup of Cheer die set. Those are just the holly, because I liked them. Those are right here. So to get started, I'm going to stamp a wreath. Well, before I do that, I want to show you how to use this new little, isn't this cute? This little guillotine mini trimmer, which I think is adorable, and you can only get this if you become a demonstrator between January and March. So anytime from January 3rd to March 31st, as part of signing up to be a demonstrator, you will get this mini trimmer, which is adorable, and this pack of paper, 6x6 designer series paper, which is a sample of all the paper in the new mini catalog, and the new mini catalog is amazing. And I have a video that shows a bunch of stamp sets that I won at Onstage that are from the new mini catalog, and they're pretty cute. So I'm going to show you how to use this trimmer. It's really easy. It's a mini trimmer, as you can see, so it goes up to about 4 1/4 inches on the edge here. You can get a 6x6 piece of paper in here, and I am cutting this piece of very vanilla cardstock to 3 3/4. So I'm just lining it up on the 3 3/4 line, and I'm holding it down and just cutting that down like that, and then on 3 3/4. So this is 3 3/4 by 3 3/4, this piece of very vanilla, and I'm just chopping that right down. So that is a pretty cool little trimmer, and if you're considering joining, I think it's a good time to join, because you get that trimmer and the paper pack and any stamp set from the catalog that you want to choose, which is pretty awesome, in addition to everything else you're going to get in your starter kit for $99. So if you have questions about that, feel free to ask me. I'm happy to explain it to you. It's pretty awesome. So my piece of grid paper keeps moving around. I apologize. So I'm starting out by stamping this little wreath of snowflakes here using this snowflake stamp from the stamp set. I showed you that. I don't know where I put it. Anyway, so I'm using an easy way to stamp a wreath is using this little wreath builder template here. Now this is not a Stampin' Up! Template. I got this from Gina K Designs. She sells these wreath builders in all different sizes, and she is not endorsing me. She doesn't even know me, but these are really easy to use if you want to stamp little wreaths on your paper, and they're real inexpensive. So, and these are made out of like a plastic material, so your ink won't stick to it, and I just taped it down right here so that it'll stick down, and I have placed the stamp where I want my wreath, so it's gonna just go around, and I'll show you how that works. So I'm going to, this is our stamparatus I'm using, which makes stamping a wreath super easy. And the ink that I'm using is Seaside Spray, which is one of our in colors new for this year, 19 and 20. So it'll last through next year as well. So I'm just stamping up that stamp, or inking up that stamp, and I'm just going to stamp it onto the paper, and then so that looks really good. And if there are, you can turn it a quarter turn and put many different pieces of your wreath together. For this one, I'm turning it a half a turn so that it just is one. They were overlapping if I turned it a quarter turn, so I just wanted to turn it a half a turn. So this is just 4 turns to make this wreath. And then you just stamp that down, and then turn it a half a turn again, place it within the template. Now you could make these templates as well. They're pretty easy to make. But I would encourage you to just go ahead and purchase it from Gina K. It's a woman-owned small business. It's a crafting business, and I believe in supporting each other. So, and they're really not expensive. I really can't remember how much they are, but they're not expensive at all. So, then that's the 4th one. And there I have a pretty little wreath on my page. Can you see that? I think that looks really pretty. So, I'm going to clean off my stamparatus with my chamois here and just clean that off so it's clean. And then I'm going to use this stamp later, so I'm going to take it off and place it on a block so that I can use it for the inside of my card. So that's all we need the stamparatus for, and that is that piece. So I'm going to set that aside, and then I have a card base of real red, and I'm going to just fold that in half, and I'm going to take my bone folder and burnish that real well right here so that it's a good fold, just like that. And then I have a layer of shaded spruce that is 4 by 5 1/4, and that is going to go right on top of that card base, but not yet. And then I have a piece of the this is the Tall Tidings DSP that comes in the holiday catalog, and you get, it's real red on one side and garden green on the other. I'm using the real red side, and you can see it's the same pattern on each side, but just real red or garden green. And this is really pretty paper. Some fun patterns to use on your projects. So this piece of the Tall Tidings designer series paper is 1 1/4 by 3 3/4, and these pieces are just going to fit right together like that on this piece. And I'm going to go ahead and glue these pieces down to that layer, just so I have them down. And so I like these colors together. This is vanilla, very vanilla paper, because this is very vanilla, garden green, real red, and very vanilla on this DSP. So it goes really well. And I like this little pattern here with this project. I think it looks really pretty. So, and then I want to cover up this line where these meet, and so I am using this curly ribbon in real red, which is also in the holiday catalog. And I'm just going to use some, I think I'm gonna use a couple of, actually I'm gonna use some adhesive here on the sides. This is Fast Fuse adhesive, which Stampin' Up! Doesn't sell anymore, unfortunately. But you can use the snail adhesive, or I can get this going, or glue dots. I just couldn't find, I don't see my glue dots on my desk right now, and I'm gonna need them, so I'm gonna have to find them anyway. But anyway, I'm just gonna put a little adhesive on the back there and just bend this around. Ooh, I got stuck to it. Just like this. And I'm gonna cut off this little piece right here. I found my glue dots, so that's good. So this ribbon is just a fun little curly ribbon, and it's not going to, we're going to cover a good part of it up, but I just wanted to cover up that little seam there just to give it a little extra fun on there. So I have gone ahead and die cut the piece from the tiny Itty Bitty Christmas dies that matches with it, and it's going to go on about like this, or just however you want to fit it on there. It's just a background on this little piece right here. So I don't remember how I did it on the other one, but I think it's about like this. Yeah. So, and to glue that on there, I'm going to use my silicone craft sheet. And this is a good way to get glue on these pieces that have a lot of intricate and just small cuts like this. And I'm going to use a sponge, one of the sponges you can get in the annual catalog, and I've cut it in quarters, and then I'm just going to get the adhesive on it just like this. And I have an extra little cutout piece there. So this is, oop, that's ink. This is a good way to get glue on these pieces with a lot of little intricate cuts like that. So, and it doesn't stick to your craft sheet because it's silicone, so you can, once it dries, you can just peel that right off. But I'm just going to stick that on right there like that. Now, to make my, I lost one of my little pieces. To make my poinsettia, this is what I did. I have a piece of real red cardstock right here, and I'm missing one of my things. A piece of real red cardstock, and then I'm using the Pop of Petals stamp set. There it is, hiding right in front of me. So I'm using the Pop of Petals stamp set to make this poinsettia. This is in the annual catalog, and I'm using this stamp right here as well as the punch that matches it. And I will show you how that works. So I've got the stamp mounted on a block. I'm going to close this one. We're not going to use this one anymore. And I'm going to get my Real Red ink, and I'm going to go ahead and ink up the stamp. Now this stamp coordinates with this punch that goes with the Pop of Petals stamp set. But this punch isn't totally symmetrical, so there's one way this stamp fits in it. So I've put a little mark, if you can see that, on my stamp right here in this right corner, and that tells me to stamp it like this so that I can punch it out like this. I'll show you how that works. So I'm just going to stamp it in Real Red ink on this Real Red cardstock, and I'm going to do that twice. And that just gives a nice subtle little pattern on the paper with using the same coordinating ink as the ink pad. Now I'm going to close that up because we don't need that anymore. And to punch this out, I'm going to take my punch and I'm going to just line it up just like this. You can see how that lines up really nicely. And I don't have it totally lined up. I'm just going to punch that out just like that. And then I'm going to do the same for the second one. So today is Saturday, and believe it or not, our high school football team is still playing in the Texas high school football playoffs. Football in Texas is like a real thing, guys. High school football is like a thing. I am just bending these leaves a little bit just to give these flowers a little bit of dimension, so that they'll kind of pop up a little bit. So anyway, our high school football team is still playing. We play this afternoon in Abilene, Texas at Abilene Christian University's stadium. We're not going to the game because Abilene's it's only about a 2-hour drive or less from here, but and it's really a nice day actually. But my daughter's home from college. She just came home yesterday, and we have some things to do today. We're gonna have my grandson tomorrow, and Monday, well, my stepdaughter and her husband are working, and so we just didn't feel like we could take that many hours of the day, although I really would have liked to go to the football game. But we're going to listen to it because we can listen to it on the radio. We were hoping it would be on TV. So now for just to give the poinsettia I'm making a little bit more dimension and pop, I'm going to use this bulb builder punch, which is in the annual catalog actually, and I have another video using this punch and stamp set that matches with it that I'll be posting soon, maybe later in the week. I've got to edit that one, and I want to get the one for this up and going. So I'm going to use about 4 or 5 of these on my poinsettia. So I'm just punching the little bulb out just like this. And here's an extra one I had, and I'm just going to do one more in case I need it. So I am punching those bulbs out. So, and you see how this punch has that extra piece that I just avoided having extra paper just by punching along the edge there. So that is, and we're going to build the poinsettia, and then I have these leaves punched out using this leaf punch, which is also in the annual catalog, just punched out of shaded spruce, and I punched a couple of them out. See what I need. And there is my other piece of that. So now I think we're ready to build our poinsettia on our card. So I'm going to bring this card back in here, and I think I'm going to go ahead and glue this piece down as well. So I'm not really popping much up on this card. I like to pop things up on dimensionals. I think the poinsettia gives it a lot of dimension, and then I am going to pop up the sentiment, as you will see in a minute. But I'm going to go ahead and put these 2 other snowflakes on my project so I don't lose track of them. So I'm just going to put some more glue on here and use my sponge and get glue on them. So anyway, this game for our high school is the state semifinals. So if we win today, the finals will be next Saturday at AT&T Stadium, which is where the Cowboys play. The state championships in Texas are always held there. There are 12 state championships in Texas, believe it or not. I know. And it is super fun. They have 3 a day for 4 days. It's super fun to go to see those games. So I really hope we win today. So that we can go to the game next Saturday. So that will be, it's super fun to go. So that will be fun. So I just put a little glue on one of these, one of these flowers and glued them together kind of offset. You could use glue dots or adhesive. I like to use the liquid glue because it's a little more, you can move things around and it dries clear if you get a little bit extra. So I'm going to go ahead and bend these bulbs a little bit, and so that they have a little bit of dimension. And then I'll show you how I decided to put these on here. I thought about putting them in the front, and that looked kind of cute, but they didn't have any printing on them, or they're just red. So I'm just going to glue them behind kind of like this in a few places. And I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on the end and just stick them down just like that. So I'm just going to do a little bit of glue right on the end here, and that way it'll still have, I can kind of bend it a little bit and it'll still have some dimension on it there. So I don't know if you all are ready for Christmas. I'm pretty much never ready for Christmas, so I just let it come. And we are where we are when it comes. So but I only have to work this week, and then we're off for the week, always off for the week between Christmas and New Year, which is nice to have that time off. That helps a lot, just to kind of regroup for the year. I like to kind of regroup and reflect on my year and how it's gone, and kind of think about the things I want to do for the next year, and things I want to accomplish or what I want to focus on. I usually pick a word to focus on for the year. I don't know about y'all, but I think that can help kind of get you focused and moving forward in your life. So this year my word was rejoice. I usually let the word kind of come to me, kind of see what's popping up for me. And I don't have a word for 2020 yet, I don't think. But just one or two I'm thinking might be it. But so there's my poinsettia, and I'm just going to go ahead and stick that down. I may use a dimensional on this one since I have this. I think I'm just going to glue it down since I have that ribbon there, and it's kind of popping up things, but I think it'll stick down. So I think that kind of turned out pretty cool. And then I'm just going to use a glue dot to stick these leaves down, and I'm just going to kind of stick those one in here, and let's see how these end up. I'm going to put a little glue on this one to stick it down, just because it's not got a lot of room on it. So, but I think this makes it fun. So I add this one right here, and so just kind of stick that right in here, stick it down. I like how that looks with that. And then just a little bit more to do. We need to do our sentiment. So I have a 1/2 inch strip of shaded spruce right here, and I'm using Versamark. And then the sentiment that I'm using is peace and happiness, as you can see. So I'm just going to kind of stamp that away from one edge a little bit, and it's kind of hard to figure out how to get this straight, because it wants to bend down. See how that's bent down? So I'm going to turn that over and see if I can straighten that stamp up a little bit. I don't know why I was doing that. So let's try that again. So I don't know if y'all are traveling for Christmas. I think we're staying in town. We have both my kids here, and my stepdaughter and her husband will be going to Oklahoma at some point, but we'll have them around as well for some part of it. So I'm going to go with that. So it's a little better. And I'm going to emboss this with shimmer white embossing powder, and I'll be right back. And there we go. I think that looks pretty good. It's shimmery. So I'm going to snip off one end so I can get this even. And then I'm using my triple banner punch here to just banner both ends. So, and you can do this without this punch. Just with your scissors, you can just kind of cut up the center as far as you want, and then cut from the corner to the center of your piece to get your banner cut. And I think that needs to be just a little bit shorter, so I'm gonna cut that a little bit shorter. There, I think that looks pretty. And I'm going to just stick that on right there, and I'm going to use dimensionals to do that. So I'm just using this piece along the edge of this page that is almost finished, and we'll pop the sentiment up, and then we just have the inside to do. So and we'll be done. So I think that looks pretty. So I'm just putting that banner right across there, and I think isn't that pretty? I like that card. So we're going to do the inside, and I have a piece of very vanilla cardstock that is 4 by 5 1/4, and I'm going to use the Seaside spray ink and the stamp that we used earlier to make our wreath. And I'm just going to stamp some snowflakes kind of along the top here, like so, and maybe just to get some in the corners like that. And I think that looks cute. So, and then we'll stick this inside of our card, and we will be done. So I hope you all are having a wonderful holiday season and having fun crafting. Don't forget to be gearing up for celebration that starts January 3rd, and the new catalog is amazing. I will be having probably a stamp of the month starting in January with a kit that you can get if you purchase the stamp set from me, or you can purchase the the kit if you have the stamp set. And I'm just using these Tall Tidings glitter enamel dots to put in the center of my poinsettia, because I felt like it needed something in the center, and I think that just finishes it off really nicely. So there we have our beautiful card. Isn't that fun? Just adding dimension with those dies just, I think, adds a lot to the card. So have a happy holiday, all of you,